Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Sunday now. It's a little late. I'm recording this about at 8 o'clock or so. We have three things to get over with. We got to talk about DMG. They provided their production update for July. We also have the Bitcoin miners versus Bitcoin this past week. See how they did. It wasn't a good week for them, so we'll take a look at it. And then we'll just take a look at which miners are going to be reporting their Q2 results coming up this week. We have a lot. I think we have one on Monday, a couple on Tuesday, and a couple on Wednesday. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of updates basically. So if you guys enjoy the type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. And as always, this is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. And I'm invested in following coins and companies for full disclosure. So let's take a look at DMG here really quick. The information is pretty quick. So DMG Blockchain Solution announces July mining results. A couple of paragraphs here, actually like one paragraph here really. DMG mined 45.7 Bitcoin with 0.61 exahash realized hash rate. DMG's Bitcoin balance as of July 31st was 522 Bitcoin. DMG realized hash rate was well below its installed hash rate due mainly to ongoing heat issues. So they're talking about basically the heat wave that they had in July. Okay, so that's what that is all about. And let's take a look at the numbers that we do have for them. So DMG, 167 million shares outstanding. Stock price is at 31. Market cap is at 51.9 million right now. Their performance has been pretty good from 12 weeks ago. It was up 57.1%. From 8 weeks ago, it's 48%. 4 weeks ago, they're down 14.6%. And from last week, they're down 5.76%. A couple of things that are to note here. Some things that are troubling is their BTC production has been coming down ever since December here. We don't have any spikes going up, and that might be basically because of their hash rate has kind of stalled out a little bit. But you can see here that they were 104.6 BTC at December, and now they're down to 45.7. Given that we obviously had a pretty hot month in July, okay, I can see why production is down for that. Their BTC HODL is at 522, so that did increase a little bit here, which is good to see. They sold about 33 Bitcoin this past month after mining about 46 roughly. Month over month difference as far as how the BTC production has evolved. You can see that each month they're down, well, some months are down more than others, but overall they're down for production as it is. So that's concerning there. BTC HODL has been coming back up a little bit. It was up to 570 back in May based on what I could figure out from them. Bitcoin per exahash efficiency has been also coming down here. BTC sold, they have been selling pretty steadily here, it looks like. And hash rate, as you can see here from December, hash rate has pretty much stayed at 917. They reported 600 something right now, and that's based on they curtailed for about a third of the month, it looks like. Okay, their value of revenue is concerned has been coming up here through pretty much April of this year, and then has pretty much been coming down here. So that's also concerning there. They're not growing as fast enough as the network hash rate is. Hash rate difference month over month, you can see that as well. Excuse me, BTC sold value each month, what they're selling. And then we'll take a look at the 4 quarters results, last 4 quarter results, when they actually report their Q2 results. Then we also have other metrics here. Based on the latest data that we do have, institutions and analysts stayed the same as they were last month. So six institutions, 1.29 million shares, 0.77% of the companies being owned. We still have one strong buy rating, one buy rating for them. And they have a 0 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sells. Price target is 23 cents across the board here. And the miners that were operating this month were only operating for, if we look at July, for 20.76 days. So basically 2/3 of the month. That's why their reported hash rate is basically 600 some petahash instead of 900. It's basically 2/3 of that right now. Okay, so a lot of curtailing going on there. That's why the production is down for it. And based on my numbers here, based on the last 4 quarters, or last 3 quarters in the current quarter that we're in, which is Q3 now, their combined total is about 20.6 million in revenue, 50% net income with a P of 5 because there's really not much growth there. 31 cents is where I have them to 44 to 46 cents with a P of 5 at 75% net income. Okay, they're at 31 cents. I think they're pretty fairly valued right now. Looking forward, if we take the July numbers, what they actually had revenue, multiply that by the 8 months before the halving event, and then the 4 months that are going to be 50% cut, we're looking at 13.7 million in revenue potentially, depending on where Bitcoin goes up in, well, yeah, depending where Bitcoin goes up in value and the network hash rate. But it's kind of a rough estimate right now. 13.7 million. At that point, looking forward, we're looking at 20 cents to 31 cents. I still think that they're fairly valued at that point right now. Maybe a little bit overvalued based on their production here. So as the Bitcoin network hash rate goes up, their BTC generated each month is going to be coming down unless they actually start growing more into it. So that is a concern for them. Let me know what you guys think of them. But I think DMG might be one of those candidates later on after the halving event that might be in a little bit of trouble. It might be a prospect to get bought out possibly. I don't know that for a fact. This is just kind of what I'm looking at right now with the numbers that we do have for them. Okay, so that's it for DMG. Let me know what you guys think of them. And let's take a look at what happened this week with Bitcoin versus the Bitcoin miners. And then we'll take a look at the miners that are actually going to be reporting this week with their Q2 results. Okay, so let's take a look at the weekly here. As always, on this one, you guys can see the green bars are how far the miners are from their 52-week lows. And then the red bars are how far they are from their 52-week highs, or how far away they are from the 52-week highs. You can see Core has obviously done the best here in the last 52 weeks. They're up 2,112%. Cypher at 808%. BitDigital is up 609%. DigiHost 448. Iris 445. Those are like the top 5 there. And then everybody else has done pretty well as also, being up over 400%, 300%, 200%. Then the only ones that we do have that are kind of low are BitDeers at 99%, Bitcoin's at 86% right now. So all the miners to the left have done much better. And you got Mawson only up 36% so far and 20% for Sphere 3D. Those guys have been lagging really bad here. And then you can see how far they are away from their 52-week highs as well. Bitcoin's getting pretty close. Some of the other ones are getting pretty close as well. Okay. Weekly performance. We'll just go over this really quick. You can see Bitcoin was actually down 0.83%, and this is based on tracking it from Friday to Friday numbers, okay? So at the end of the Friday period, or the week, this is where Bitcoin was at. It was down 0.83%. And then you had Cypher was down 0.86%. Marathon was down 5.21%. DMG was down 5.76%. You guys can see the rest of them here. The worst ones were obviously TerraWolf down 23%. Sphere down 19.83% on the week. So everybody did worse than Bitcoin did this week, which we've had a couple of weeks where the miners have done better than Bitcoin. And now we're just seeing a little bit of a reverse on that, okay? Looking at the 4 weeks really quick as well. We'll take a look at that. And we'll do that. Let me see here, descending. And the 4 weeks. Here we go. We can see that Bitcoin's down 4.15%. Core is actually the only one that's up 0.78%. Everybody else has done worse. Moss is down 38%. Argo's down 35%. BitDeer's down 34%. Everybody else has done worse than Bitcoin has in the 4 weeks. If we look at the 8 weeks here really quick as well. Let's see here. Descending. No, it's a different story from 8 weeks ago. From 8 weeks ago, Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin here? Bitcoin's only up 10.44%. And then we got all of these miners here that have done a lot better. Core being the top one, followed by TerraWolf, Riot, Iris, and Marathon, having nice runs here in the last 8 weeks. And then on the 12 weeks, if we look at that as well, let's see here. There we go. We see the same kind of story. Bitcoin's up 8.13% from 12 weeks ago. All of these miners have done better, with Core, BitDeer, Marathon, TerraWolf, Hut 8 being the top 5. And then we got Mawson and Sphere 3D still being the laggards here on those. Okay, so we are kind of getting into where it's half and half as far as the performance of the miners compared to Bitcoin. And you can see here that we've had actually pretty much like 3 weeks in the red for the miners, which hasn't happened in a while here. Last time we had that was back in, it looks like, was it January, February, March? In March, we had 3 weeks of red, and then we had some good months here. So maybe we'll get a reversal here. And then prior to that, we had obviously quite a bit of red here before the new year. All right. Okay. So that's kind of where we stand right now. We'll see how this week continues to go. We got obviously the miners that are going to be reporting their quarterly results. And then here's what we do have for those. We'll take a look at the charts here in a second here. But first, these are the miners that are going to be reporting their Q2 results, or some of them have like Q3 results, depending when their fiscal year ends. But Bitfarms is supposed to be reporting on Tuesday. It's going to be interesting to see how they fared with all of it. And then we got Cypher. See when Cypher's supposed to be reporting also on Tuesday. CleanSpark is going to be reporting on Wednesday, I believe. Yep, Wednesday. And then we got Hut 8 is going to be reporting on Wednesday as well. Iris Energy was supposed to report on A3 based on this, but they haven't reported it yet. I checked on that one. We got Marathon's going to be reporting on Tuesday as also. And then we got Riot is so far the only one's going to be reporting on Monday here. So we got quite a few of the big guys reporting here relatively early. Riot's going to be interesting to see how they did and everything else. They might set the standard a little bit here for what's going to happen with the other miners. Okay, so that's it for those. We'll see if anybody else reports anything else on it. But these are the ones that are basically stating that they're going to report on those dates. So the next 3 days is going to be full of updates for you guys. Okay, now as far as Bitcoin is concerned, Bitcoin has, you could say, kind of stalled here a little bit. It's kind of heading downwards. I did say that after the FOMC meeting, after we get the interest rates raised a little bit by 25 basis points, that Bitcoin more than likely would probably be falling down. And it is trying to fall down, but it is having some support here, surprisingly. I thought we would have a little bit more of a sharper turn to the south side here, but it's actually doing okay. We may get that when we have the 50-day and the 20-day cross here. When that happens, I think maybe we'll then actually have a slide down. That's a little bit more substantive than what we've had so far. Okay. But Bitcoin right now is at, let's see, it's up barely. It's up 0.36% right now. It's at 29,140. We are definitely below the 50-day and the 20-day moving averages. If those don't hold, obviously, our next support line is going to be here at 28,600. I'm thinking that possibly may not hold. And if that happens, we're probably coming down to the 200 weekly moving average, which is right now at 27,371, followed by the 200 daily moving average, which is the blue line here, which is also pretty close to that at 27,100 something and change. And if those don't hold, then I don't think we're going to be heading lower than where we were back here, which was 23,800. I think maybe we'll kind of bounce off of the like 24,750 right here. I see some support on these two here right now. But if that doesn't hold, then there might be a possibility of us going down to 23,000, but we'll see. That's going to be definitely tough on the miners. We're definitely going to see a pullback on prices on those as well. It might be a good time to dollar cost average in it if you are going in for the long term. Short term, possibly, I don't like to short, so I don't short. I buy it for the long term. But there are obviously investors that do short stocks. Might not be a bad time to possibly short them a little bit to get them down. And then once we start backing up, going back north, that would be time to start buying up again. But I'm dollar cost averaging in anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. If it does come down, I'll just buy more, which is all the better for me in the long run. I plan on holding these for at least probably another year until we get into the all-time high with Bitcoin. At that point, somewhere before then, I'm probably going to start selling, just dollar cost averaging out of that as well. Okay, that's kind of my plan as it is. Miners we covered, I believe, on Friday. Not much going on there, and obviously we'll see what happens this week. All right, so that's it. Spreadsheets, as always, are going to be available to my Patreon members, and I'm going to give some of the screenshots to the YouTube members as well. That'll be coming up tomorrow, more than likely. Okay, so like I said, we'll see what happens this week. Tomorrow's going to be fun. We got Riot, then we got some more on Tuesday and on Wednesday reporting. So there's going to be a lot of updates. Stay tuned for those, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.